Welcome to uh, Substack Live. This one is Murphy exposes where he's hidden the bodies. So that's the goal here is to get Murphy to admit where he's hidden all the bodies of all of his murder victims. And we'll be using our magic 8-ball friend here for help if necessary, because the 8-ball knows Murphy more than anyone does. So that's the goal.
That ball's a liar.
That ball tells nothing but the truth, man. I'm sorry,
Thank you for having me here. Hello, everybody. My name is Peter, and I've been invited to talk to KR to have a conversation with him on the Substack. And I'm very excited for this conversation. I'm a little bit jealous of his background. It's very, it has things. Um, I have a shelf, but I have a shelf there, but I have a second shelf with books here in front of me, but you can't see it. It's something I have to work on.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing you have to work on. Another thing you have to work on is, where are the bodies? Where did you hide them? Are they in your house? Are they with you right now?
Do you know, when you get good at something, like very good at something, you eventually you don't have to hide them.
What do you do with them then?
Yeah, there's ways, but I don't know where this whole kind of thing came from about the bodies. I don't know what part of me gave you the idea that, like, I'm some sort of person that does these things.
Well, I have picture evidence here that you can see that shows you, and behind you is a kill board with a bunch of your victims on the
That's
board.
from an article I wrote about hustle culture,
No,
about working
those
from
are dead
home.
bodies. Those are dead bodies behind
That's
you.
that's research. Look how young I was. That couldn't be now. That's at
Well,
least 20 years ago, that picture.
yeah, you've been doing this for a while. I mean, there's a lot of dead
I've only
bodies
been
scattered
working from
across.
home for 3 years. I've only been working from home for 3 years.
And you live in China currently, right?
I live in Xi'an, China. Yes.
Okay. What's it like living in Japan?
I live in the Kyoto prefect of Tokyo.
Right.
It's good. Good surf.
Good.
Good surf. Yeah.
Good food. Do you like the food?
I love Vietnamese food. I love it.
And what about the victims? Where do you find your victims? Philip
I,
Murphy.
I, Philip's the other guy. Philip's the other guy on the Peter Phillips show. Did you think I was Philip?
No, you are both of them. You have multiple personalities. You pretend to be two different people, and that's why you don't even remember killing all the people you do.
I can't go along with this bit because I will get investigated because of the stuff that I write from time to time, where people will say, "Oh, yeah, that adds up. That makes sense." Let's open that case from 2009.
Well, I mean, if all else fails, just, tell us where you hid one of the bodies and we'll call it good.
The In a Balkan basement.
Okay. That's fair. All right, everybody. You heard it here first. In a Japanese basement, he hid one of the bodies.
I mean, yeah, fine, Japanese, fine,
I
whatever.
don't even know how to pronounce the word Balkan, so I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a part of Europe. It's like southeastern Europe, in that area.
Arkansas?
No, no, no. I've never been to Arkansas. In America, I've only been to New York, Boston. I think I've been to California, and I've been to Florida and Atlanta and Maine. Did I say Maine? They're the only places I've been to in America.
Did you enjoy the Tea Party in Boston? I hear there's an ongoing Tea Party there.
I like Boston. It's very quaint. I got racially abused by an Italian man, which my friend and I were absolutely delighted because, coming from Ireland, we never experienced such things. It was our first, encounter with, I guess you could call that racism. I don't know. And the they said some terrible things about Irish people, at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and my friend and I looked at each other and we're like, "Oh my God, we're in America!" And it was such a cool experience, and I can't wait. I can't wait to go back again.
That's a hallmark of when you know you're in America is when you get racially profiled.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It was awesome.
That's fair enough, man. That's fair. And yeah, it's definitely racism. Sounds like home. Welcome to the States. Also, fuck off because you're not exactly what I think you should be, or something.
Yeah,
Is that blood in your cup from your victims?
that's cranberry juice.
Cranberry juice. Is Murphy drinking blood from
I
his
drank the
victims right
wrong
now?
drink.
Yes, Murphy is chugging the blood of his most recent victim, a 39-year-old gassy attendant at a petrol station. That's what the ball says, man. That's what the ball says.
Those balls are getting very, very you know, lucid. You'd want to look into that.
Yeah, he's very specific. It's very strange. I'm worried it might be
They're
a
getting
little
like
bit possessed or
ChatGPT.
something.
They're just kind of saying whatever you want them to say.
Yeah, oh yeah, it hallucinates all the time, but it's also probably all of the acid it does. It does a lot of
Right.
LSD. Yeah, so got to keep my eye on it. I don't want to get busted because my magic 8 ball is high on acid. It's kind of a little downer.
Yes, I can relate to those things.
So you said that you're currently living in Russia, right? How's that?
I'm living in Sochi in southern Russia, and I like swimming in the Black Sea.
Yeah. Why not the White Sea? Are you racist? You just like black things better than white things?
I don't feel comfortable answering that question.
Okay, that's
I don't
fair.
think there's a good answer.
I
Let's
don't I
just
don't
say, let's just say I like people in general.
I don't. I don't like anyone.
Why? Everything's fine. Everything's cool. Just relax. Relax, man. Just fucking relax and let it happen. It'll be fine.
I can't relax. I'm
Let it
drinking an
happen.
energy drink again. It's got me wired to the max, you know what I mean? This
Uh,
one is flavored this is Blue Alabama, the flavor of the South. That one's what this one's called.
what is it with you guys over in America drinking weird? Why don't you just have some red wine like a European?
I can't drink red wine. It's been outlawed.
But yeah, have a beer. Have a beer.
It's been outlawed too.
What do you do during the day
I stare at a wall a lot. Sit there and just
when the
stare at a
sun's
blank
up?
wall. Yeah, that's it. Wall staring. I go
How
on
many how many
walks,
how many times did
stare at walls.
you go outside? How much time a day do you spend writing?
Oh, honestly, probably around 8 hours or so a day, 8 to 10 hours or so a day of writing. Or if I'm not directly writing, getting everything out, then I'm coming up with ideas and writing them in my notebook or going on walks to come up with concepts and then recording them in my phone for later. And every second I'm awake, I'm thinking of something new to write about though. So that's never ending.
Brandon, Elrich, nobody cares that you don't like energy drinks because this interview isn't about you.
Brandon doesn't like energy drinks? Holy crap. Anyways,
And
so
that guy, Wilhelm O'Shea, says concepts, and Ben says spasmodic boner developer.
is that how you pronounce his name? I really thought it was Wiley Elm O'Shara. I've been butchering that. Well, anyways, Wiley Elm O'Shara, welcome to the chat. Have you ever met any really, really like frustrating trees?
What?
Have you ever met any really, really frustrating trees? Just trees that you're just like, oh, it's an annoying tree.
Like the number three?
Trees, like, branches, leaves.
No. I've seen trees.
How many?
Probably uh, eight, 8,000 maybe?
Those are rookie numbers, bro.
8, 9,000. Well, I mean, I didn't count, but I'm assuming that's how many I might have seen.
Did you
Because
date
you
any of
don't
them?
realize how many things you see again and again, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's fair. Did you see any of them again and again, like on dates?
Are you talking about trees or something else?
Trees, yeah. How many trees have you dated?
Is there alcohol in Monster Energy drinks? I thought I was the one drinking. This is an
No,
odd conversation.
no, it's zero sugar, dude.
I, you know, I thought Philip had strange questions, but your questions are a lot more stranger than his.
That's because he learned from me. But Philip's just your alter ego. You know that, right? You have multiple personalities, and that's one of them.
I don't even know Philip. I don't even know Philip. I don't even like Philip. I don't
Nobody
even
likes
know him
Philip.
or like.
Nobody likes
Well,
Philip.
that's not true.
Philip Philip
Victor
doesn't
likes
even
him.
like Philip.
Victor Cardenas, whoever the hell he is, he likes Philip a lot.
I've never met Victor. I've never met a Victor. I don't think
Okay.
Victors exist. I'm pretty sure it's a fantasy name made up.
So then who do you know on the Substack if you don't know Victor? Everyone knows Victor. You know Brandon Elrich,
No,
uh,
I don't know that
and
either.
you know me,
Who? I don't know Brandon.
Brandon
What? That I Brandon Ulrich? What the hell? I don't know anyone named Brandon.
Brandon Brandon. He's a baker on the TikTok, and he's also a writer. Uh,
Oof. I stay away from bakers. They're dangerous people.
you were talking to him last week for like an hour.
No, never happened,
I
man.
watched you. Okay.
So you sell watches for a living, you said?
I was gonna wear my watches for you, but I forgot. Yeah, I sell watches. I started off with a working at a yacht magazine in Istanbul, and we would sell advertising in the magazines to watch companies like Rolex, what have you. And now I decided that I will buy Chinese watches and I will sell them to clients from the UAE. The UAE. The UAE is a country and lots of rich people there. And even though they're cheap Chinese watches, they're still pretty good. They're only about $100, $200. I sell them for $500. It's pretty good markup. As long as you have a good briefcase that you give these things to these people in, they're pretty happy about it. So yeah. But like it's hard because we're living in Lagos right now, not Lagos in Portugal, but Lagos in Nigeria. And it's pretty hard because it's hard to set up a Stripe account in this country. But overall, we love living here. Was that your question about where I lived or the watches? Yeah, I sell watches.
Yeah, that worked. I mean that covered it all. That's pretty much that's all we have time for. I mean, that's it. You covered it. It's been an hour. It was a long hour. Well spent. Well, what when you're not, selling watches or murdering people and hiding the bodies in the water now that we know that you used to sell yacht space article magazine article ads, now we know where you're hiding the bodies. You just dump them in the ocean, don't you?
I'm not discussing any more of that moving forward. Uh, I gave you my answer. I told you Somewhere in the Balkans. That's what I said.
Somewhere in the Balkans. I don't even know how to say that word. Um,
It's like ball and kin. Balkan.
Balkans. See, I just can't get it. Just I butcher it every
Yeah.
time.
Ball,
I
and
bet that
kin.
Brandon guy could pronounce it. What do you do when you're not getting drunk?
Sleep. Um, I write and I smoke cigarettes, and then I worry about smoking cigarettes too much. So I buy books on how to stop smoking cigarettes, and I read them, and then I stop, and then I get anxious because and health anxiety because I was sure that like the cigarettes, even though I thought they were killing me, now that I've quit, I'm pretty sure they're the only things that are actually keeping me alive. So I get confused. And then yeah, I call my mom and stuff like that.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, yeah, cigarettes are bad. You should probably quit those.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah, yeah. They're bad. They're bad.
they are.
They're bad.
They're absolutely awful. I quit them
They're bad.
roughly 10 years ago or so.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, it's
We'll get there.
uh yeah, yeah, it's they're not the type of thing that you want to be smoking the rest of your life. They'll kill you. Though you know what'll kill you faster? Being like morbidly obese. That's a death sentence right there. So if it's between smoking cigarettes and being morbidly obese, I'd take the cigarettes 9 times out of 10.
I'd like to avoid both of them. I'd like to avoid both of them because both of them are a very real possibility these days.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Food is not it's not none of it's super safe to eat anymore. No matter where you go, there's always fast food places on every fucking corner on this planet now. So
Well, the food in Turkey is good. It's but they're making it too easy. When I first came here, we would go to markets, to the farmers markets, and would always be getting fresh fruit and fresh veg, everything, fresh meat. And then when the pandemic hit, everything got too easy. Everything you could order in all of a sudden. Like I'd never ordered in food before the pandemic. And then when the pandemic happened, we had to do it. So, and then, you're just like, oh my God, I forgot we live in a globalized society. And before you know it, there's like McDonald's, things like that.
I'm gonna move my camera just a little bit.
It's fine.
There we go. There we go. Look at that. Now we get more of my pretty face and my hot bod. I paid a lot of money for
Yeah.
this body, you know. Bought it
How
from
much?
overseas, had it transplanted, neck down.
Where do you guys find your microphones?
I bought mine on Amazon. I have 3 of the same one for guests. So if I have like 2 guests ever here in the studio, plus I've gone offset before and done production recording for other people that they pay me to do. So I'll use it for that as well.
Okay.
We just found a picture. Someone sent us a picture of you when you're out selling watches for everybody to see there.
That's not me. That's from an article I wrote about selling watches.
Well, yeah, but you can see, like, you can clearly see you're like covered in watches everywhere. Like they're all over your body. Like,
Well, it's my associate really who's the brains behind the business plan. But he refuses to be on camera.
ah, why? Is why?
He doesn't have well, he has internet, but he doesn't know how to work Substack.
Ah, is that your art in the background or is that your kids or do you have kids or what?
This is from a Medium article I wrote. Oh, what's this time? a Medium article I wrote probably last year or a year and a half ago, right when AI was taking off. And I thought it'd be funny to write an article called, medium writers, or, AI medium writers, where I, generate an image of, medium writers with AI and then just have really shitty drawings instead when people open the article. So that's them. I've Sturge, Robin, Josh, and Jim Mercurio up on the wall there. And I didn't want to throw it out because, some memories. So I just said I'll just put them on the wall.
Well, then there you go. Perfect. That's funny. Yeah, everything is AI generated nowadays. Even like I'm AI generated. I don't even exist. I'm not even real. I'm an AI bot.
You are real.
Well, I'm real. So is the 8 ball. Magic
You've
eight
got a
ball.
ponytail. You've got a ponytail.
No, I do not. That's a lie.
Yes, you do.
AI.
You've
It's
got a
AI
ponytail.
generated. It's AI
You've got a
generated.
ponytail.
Does
How? When did you? When did
is
you
Murphy
get that?
is Murphy a sober warrior? Yes. Science
What?
proof. Yes. You're a
I wouldn't
sober
even know what that
warrior.
is. Ask me some questions. You're supposed to be interviewing me. I was talking to Astrid Zadaya today, and I had lots of good questions for her. And all you're doing is calling me a fucking murderer, for the whole thing. Ask me some questions.
I was
You're
trying to
saying
ask
like,
you
oh,
questions, trying to get to the
Peter,
bottom of your serial killing, and you wanted to
you're such a
avoid the
drunk.
topic.
Why are you always drinking?
I wanted to ask
It's
you
it's
questions
ten
about where you hide
it's
the
ten
bodies,
p.m.
and you're
I'm
being really
tired. I'm a
avoidant.
man. I'm a man. I'm a man. I'm allowed to have red wine. I'm a man, At the end of the day, a man must have his red wine. I'm a man.
I was trying to do some investigative journalism, some hard-hitting stuff where we find out where
Right.
you're hiding all the bodies, and you didn't want to talk about it. You got all upset. And I don't want to get
But I
killed
did.
for
I
you.
answered the
So I'm not
questions.
gonna
I
I'm not
answered the
gonna,
questions.
push it any
I
further.
answered the questions. I answered the questions. Kimberly Parker says, Murphy, I completely understand where you're coming from. Ha!
I don't know
She
how she
writes.
would. I don't know who that person is. I don't know how she would know where you're coming from. I don't know who she is. She's some sort of weird stalker or something. I don't know.
Well, she seems to know. She seems to know enough to write that comment. So,
She knows nothing, Jon Snow.
and Wilhelm O'Shea says, yeah. So, fuck yeah, there we go. What, did you do any
Yeah.
research? Did you do any for the Peter and Philip show? I research for days for my guests. And then whenever I go onto their show, they always just sit at the other side of the camera and like they expect me to talk.
When
Okay.
when I came on
I
your
will
show,
talk.
you asked me a bunch of nonsense questions of shit that didn't even exist.
That's the Peter and Philip show though. That's the Peter and Philip show. You don't understand. I co-opted that. Now, listen, don't say that Kenyan. Who the fuck is Kenyan?
That's my real name.
Are you Kenyan? Is that your real
That's my
name?
name. Yeah, that's my
Ah, okay. I think I read that somewhere before. Okay, cool. Brandon says Wilhelm agrees, but then again,
Wilhelm
Brandon
doesn't get a fucking
Wilhelm would
opinion. Get out of here, Wilhelm. Fuck that guy.
Wilhelm Wilhelm would
Yeah,
agree
fuck you too,
with
buddy.
Brandon. Yeah. Oh, oh, yeah, Wilhelm. Yeah, go for it, Wilhelm. Yes.
So, all right.
I
Where
actually
do you
rarely
live?
get.
Without
The only people on
lying, where
Substack
do
who
you
will fucking
actually
talk to
live?
me is
Where
like
do you
either
actually live?
either Gen XE or Walter Reed, and sometimes Ben Ulancy. But
Walter Reed
other
doesn't
than that, like
talk to
nobody.
people. Wa- Walter Reed doesn't talk to people. Walter Reed is a priest and he preaches to people. That's his thing, man. He reads right out of the Bible, and that's all he does. So I don't know what you're talking about. But like, where do you actually live? And then I can ask you questions about that.
Okay, fine. I live in Turkey.
You actually live in Turkey.
Yes,
Where were you born?
I was born in the Republic of Ireland.
How long did you live in Ireland?
I lived in Ireland from 1988 until 1990. 98, and then we moved to America for 2 years, and then from 2000 to 2011 I lived in Ireland, and then in 2011 I moved to Reunion Island, and then in 2013 I moved to Turkey.
So and then you've lived in Turkey ever since?
Yes.
Do you go back to Ireland ever?
Twice a year I'll go back. Yeah.
Do you go back to visit family or
Yeah, I go back to see my brother, my mom, my dad, my dog, um, my old stomping grounds.
they don't allow dogs in Turkey?
No, but yes, they do. But I like to. I don't think he would. I don't think he'd like it here. It'd be too hot here for him.
And did you just say are you married?
Yes.
Does your wife live with you in Turkey?
Yes, she lives with me. God love her.
What does she do for a living?
She's Turkish. She works at a a private school here. She's a teacher.
Perfect. That's awesome. Do you have any children?
No, we do not have any children. Not yet, anyway. We will see what the stork brings in the future.
I wouldn't recommend it. We have 4 and they just are the worst.
Yeah, but I could have told you that, whereas after two, it's like stop.
Yeah. Oh,
Imagine
yeah.
being like the third kid and the fourth kid, and it's just like, yeah, we're too much.
Oh, yeah, by the fourth one, we just let do whatever they want, we don't even I don't even remember his
Right.
name, honestly.
Hmm.
I don't even know if he's here. Like, he could be at school, he might be I don't know I don't know. No clue.
That's cool.
No, I don't consider my cat a child. It's a cat.
Yeah, Brandon. What the fuck?
I don't even like that cat. That
Jesus.
cat's fucking rude. You try to pet on it and give it loves and stuff, and it literally bites you, scratches you, and then runs off. Like you try like the harder you try, the more pissy it gets. Like it will start hissing like in your face while it's still like laying on you for some reason. It's the most obnoxious
But
thing.
but but I do consider hang on. I do consider my cat to be my child. And this is a picture I drew of my cat.
That looks like a cat corgi hybrid. Do
Yeah.
you have a cat? Do you have a cat
And
corgi
it's
hybrid?
no, it's a black cat we have.
A black cat. That was a black cat.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's a good picture of a
Well,
black
I
cat.
don't I don't always have the colors I want on me all the time, okay? Like
Well,
fucking I'm doing my best. It's like, are those children's pictures? I was like, no, they're not. Is that cat an orange corgi? It's like, no, it's a black cat, but I just didn't have black.
well, you have cigarette ash. You can mix cigarette ash with water, and that creates like a dark charcoal gray coloring.
Yeah. Brandon, I know my cat doesn't look like that. I just told you that. Fine. Do I have a real picture taken with a camera? No. Maybe she's inside of my wife watching The Office.
Oh, we have a picture of your cat right here at night. Right there. Right there. It's a pic right there. There we go. Picture of your cat at night.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's a good picture. So, well, if you could
So are
do
you
whatever you wanted to for a living, what would you do, Murphy?
probably what I'm doing right now?
Like right this second, you would just talk to me for a living?
Yeah, I sure would. Writing, making videos, um, and I suppose teaching. I'll never stop teaching. But I think we're really lucky that we get, you know, um, I don't know how things are going for you. Like maybe everything's falling to shit. I have no idea, or they're fucking amazing, um, or they're somewhere in between. But like I think we're pretty lucky that a good portion of our income can come from writing. So long may it continue. It doesn't feel like you're living the dream, but like if you asked yourself 3 years ago, would you take it? Like, yeah, fuck yeah, you'd take it. So yeah, this is basically what I'd like to do. And also, I probably should finish the book. It's becoming a bit of a joke now that it's not finished.
Oh, you've been writing a book?
Yeah, it's like I probably should have just paused it and wrote other books and released them, like self-published, just to get it off, get the monkey off my back. But I'm so engrossed in the story that not that it's an amazing story or anything, but it kind of feels like you're studying, trying to, you know, structure it, have the story, everything makes sense, everything add up. So I'm enjoying it, but I think I should finish it soon because it's a beast.
I get that. I have a bunch of different story concepts and ideas that just sit there building. I build upon them. I add characters, places, land masses. I create buildings and thoughts inside my mind, and then I don't publish them. Instead, I working towards it by publishing stories and working my way up with satire and fiction and stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
easy for
yeah,
me. It's
yeah.
easy for me to write about the news and release that shit. That's like cake. Like it really is nothing to me. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't, make me insecure or whatever. But actually
Right.
like putting work that comes from like your heart that like you spent
Yeah.
time and love on and creating and you spent like years creating it in your mind beforehand, that's effort. That can be difficult.
Yeah, I spent like 5 years writing it, and it was supposed to be like a travel memoir. And then 6 months ago, I got to a point where I was like, I've written it. I had written it, finished it maybe 5 or 6 times, and just wasn't happy. And then I came to like the sad, not sad, but it was a good conclusion to come to that it just it just wasn't good because there's a point in it where it's like, well, what are you doing in this story? And I was like, oh, well, it's about my life. And for this whole year, I did nothing, you know? And like, but I can't leave out that you do nothing. So I decided just to make a fictional character, give them my backstory, give them the first month, and then let them kind of have their own story. So that was a really cool way of doing it. And so far that method is going well. So I'm happy with it.
And you said that you
But yeah,
teach as well. I never heard about you teaching. So what do you teach?
I used to be English language. I still am technically. I used to be an English language teacher. I was teaching in a private school for about, well, first on Reunion Island and then in Turkey for 8 years. And then I just didn't renew my contract because I didn't want to work in a school anymore. So now I just have my own business where I have my own students, my own clients, and I help them pass exams for, English exams, IELTS exams. If they need to go to university, they need a certain level of English, so I help them pass those things.
Oh, that's cool. So you don't actually sell watches at all.
No, but my friend and I, we planned to. We wanted to a lot.
Well,
Like the
watches have
whole
come back in
backstory
style.
yeah, the whole backstory I just gave you earlier, the whole spiel, that actually was a plan that we had. Because one thing we liked to do was to get drunk and just talk about conspiracies, writing books, and then ridiculous business plans that like are so ridiculous, but they're just within reach that we might actually do it. So that was kind of like our hobby for a while.
I used to do that, but it was usually alone, and it would annoy my friends because they were not ambitious people.
Right, 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 right. Yeah, yeah.
I would try to come up with ideas. I'd be like, we should do something with our lives, and they'd be like, "Shut the fuck up, Kenyon, and drink more beer. Take this weed
Right.
and smoke it, and shut up."
What did you do before you were a writer?
Construction for most of my life. A little bit of
Oh,
retail, a
okay.
little bit of restaurant work, but mostly construction. All of it. I've
Did
uh,
you
I've learned
did
how
you
to do
did
everything
you work
from
with
bottom
a
to top.
Renegade Mouthy?
Yeah, yeah. We worked
Mouthy
together. I
Renegade?
would Yeah, we worked together. I would do work for him like mostly on the weekends and the side and stuff to earn a little bit of extra money carpet cleaning. Carpet cleaning pays pretty good, like per hour, when you consider the amount of work that goes into other things. You can charge someone $200 to, clean their house, and it takes you an hour and a half, 2 hours. And so that, to where in construction, you're lucky to make $30 in 2 hours working construction. So,
Right. Yeah, no, all those kind of jobs like that, you're always so surprised by like how much they make. It makes me think like, man, maybe I just should have stayed in Ireland and been an electrician or a carpenter or something.
yeah.
I
Well,
should have just skipped everything and just done that.
yeah, well, that I've had that thought too. If I had had the mind about me, if I hadn't have, so like when I was younger, my family told me, oh, that's all you'll be able to really ever do with your life, because I was big and strong, and so I guess they didn't think I would be able to be smart or creative, and so the only thing that I was considered
Yeah,
capable of doing was physical labor, and so I hated it naturally as a result. But if I had actually thought about it and was more rational about it, I really would have taken the time to like travel the world and learn from different artisans in carpentry, how to be a better carpenter. And I would probably be doing that because carpentry, you can be incredibly creative. I love building things out of wood. Everything I've showed people before and stuff, but everything in my studio I've built and put together, and all my tables, my desks, my computer desk, everything in here I've built myself. The thing I can show you behind, you can see those things in the screen. This
yeah,
is
yeah.
I built all those frames and wrapped them with the cloth and stuff, so they're sound panel absorbers. They're filled with
Ooh,
sound absorption cushions and stuff, and yeah, so I enjoy that, but it's one of those things now where it's I don't know. I'm kind of a pushover with customers, so they end up getting a lot of free labor out of me, and that's not a good business model. So
right, yeah. Yeah, I remember just last week, I always pick up my wife, the school, make sure they have a teacher service where they'll drop the teachers at back home.
Mhm.
So I'll go and meet her where the teacher's bus, drops off all the workers. And Joe's like our little routine, and then we'll head to the market, get some food, go home. Really nice routine. But then I kept meeting this former parent who I used to teach his kid like 8 years ago, 7 years ago.
Mhm.
And he's always saying, "Oh, my kids loved you and everything like that." I said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're great kids. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye. Nice to see you." They keep asking me, "Do you do private lessons? Are you doing this?" I says, "No, look, they're all online and they're all with people from outside the country. I'm not really teaching people that I know right now. It's a different business." And he goes, okay, online. How much is it? How much is it?" And I gave him the price, and he was like, "How much is that in lira?" Then I told him the price in lira. It's too much. It's too much. I was like, "Okay, no problem." And then the next day he comes up to me, asks me the exact same thing again. Same conversation verbatim. Next day, or not the next day, but maybe 3 days later, meet him again. Same conversation, except it's switched. He asked me how much, but I tell him in lira, and he says, "How much is that in dollar?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, are you trying to, are you trying to drive me crazy here?" So I kind of get you with that. I don't like teaching people who think that you owe them, or teaching people affiliated with people who think that you owe them something, or you owe them a deal.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. So, that's exactly this is very similar concept. What it would end up being is you would have a customer and you'd show up to, let's say, you like I had just one customer as an example. They wanted a wooden fireplace like mantle, like a shelf, a big thick shelf put above like the fireplace in their house. So it was a rough cut wood mantle, and it was huge. It was about 4 feet long, and I mean, it was a good like 3 inches thick. So it was hefty, and I had to drill through brick to be able to put it. And we're like, well, while you're here, would you mind, just touching up the floorboards, over there? The last person that was here didn't really finish them up, and so me being nice, I'm like, okay, well, I have caulking right here, I have the ability just to really quickly touch them up, and then like I come back the next day and they're like, well, would you mind doing this? And would you mind doing this? And like it gets to the point where instead of going and dealing with that customer again, I just like start ghosting them and I just don't answer them. I finish the job I was
Yeah, yeah.
originally asked to do to the best extent that I, am capable. And then I just fucking ghost them because they'll just keep asking, well, can you do this? Can you do this? Well, yeah, I can, but you're going to fucking pay me more money. And people don't. They don't want to pay you more money. They think that because you're already there, they've paid for your service for fucking ever.
Yeah. So it's the same for everybody. It's the same for everybody. It's one thing that I like maybe about like I like Substack, but it's one thing I like about Medium, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Um, I like the fact that you can just put something out there, and whether it's a video, piece of art, or piece of writing, and if it gets picked up, it gets picked up basically just on the merit of what you've put out there, you know. Whereas I kind of feel like on Substack, it feels like you have to you always have to be reminding people or telling people all the time. Like you could put out the greatest article ever, but unless you have that thing at the end saying, "Hey, hey,"
Please upgrade to
you
paid.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Unless you have that, and even then, it's like if you get like 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, it's like that click through rate. You're just always hoping for it. So it's about the teaching, about the what you do with the carpentry and everything.
Yeah.
It's really nice to be on those kind of platforms where you kind of know what you're going to get back, you know,
Yeah, that is
from
true about Medium.
a
That's a
certain
good point.
amount.
I've kind of avoided Medium because I didn't really like it at first, but that is a good point about Medium where regardless, even if like only two people read your article, you'll at least get 2 cents. So
Right. Yeah.
at least you're
Yeah.
getting some compensation to where Substack, like,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to point out anyone in particular. This is not directed at
Brandon,
anyone at
Brandon,
all in
Brandon,
particular.
Brandon,
But there are a
Brandon.
lot of people on Substack who it feels like they will forever read your shit because it's open for them to be
Yeah.
free. And they probably do have the money where they could upgrade to paid, but they fucking won't. It's the same concept
Yeah.
as, the person who you're doing construction for probably could pay you to, fix that baseboard or, change light bulbs or whatever, but they fucking won't, and so that
Yeah.
that is kind of how it feels sometimes. It's
My
I don't
my
I don't want to ever
my
like the
favorite.
comments on my stuff, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's really tempting just to be like, hey, you want to fucking talk to me, then you can, pay, but I won't, but it's tempting. It is tempting. I will not lie.
My favorite Substack thing was like this shows you the great side of Substack. I was trying to open school with my wife, and technically we succeeded. It's just it's online school. We just didn't get enough money to open a brick and mortar building. And I was really pushing on Substack, my GoFundMe, to open it because we work with, as you know, students who are in need, some students with disabilities. So we wanted to have like a brick and mortar thing, and we thought like, hey, this is a good cause. People would want to be into it. And oh, I need $2,000. $2,000 is grand. I can make the rest myself. And then what's it called? GoFundMe said, "Oh no, you should have like 5,000 minimum, and you can just stop it at two if you want." Okay, so I put it up, and I think in a year it raised $200. Okay, and then like a fucking fascist on Jubilee goes on and loses their job and gets $500,000. Some guy who shoots a woman in the face gets, $500,000. Some guy who calls Trump uh the P word at a
Oh yeah.
factory
Yeah.
gets 500,000. And I'm just kind of sitting there and I'm just kind of like, all right, I don't belong in this world anymore because it's just It's like, all right. So like I was like, I'm closing the GoFundMe and I'll just keep doing it online myself.
Yeah, no,
Not that I
I
deserve
feel
it
that
or
so
anything,
much.
and they're not connected. Sorry to interrupt you, but they're not like connected, but that kind of way you do see the world that way. So you have to kind of step away from it and just kind of be like, oh, okay, it's just you can look at it that way, but it's so annoying.
Yeah, no, and I completely I get you. Like there was similar maybe you heard about it. The lady, she was on a playground and called this little like toddler kid the N-word. Uh and ended up getting
Mm.
like they raised like $1 million for that lady to, defend herself in court because she had called a child a racially derogatory term. And
Whoa.
I'm sitting there like, she just made more by saying a derogatory term than I've made in my entire fucking life by working my ass off
Yeah,
to the
yeah, yeah,
bone. Like, I've literally worked so hard doing construction, dude, that I can't open my hands when I wake up. Like, literally can't open them. I gotta like massage them and like soak them in hot water and shit and like pry them open.
yeah.
And like nothing to show for that aspect of my life at this point besides the skills and knowledge. But then you have a lady who goes on a playground and calls some little kid the N-word and walks away with a couple fucking $1 million. Yeah.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
I know you agree with me. It's like they're not you can't blame people for that. So if anyone like is like watching thinking I'm just being like a bitter old man right now, it's like yes, on the one hand, yes, but also it's just kind of you have to like detach yourself from it so much
Yeah.
because it was the first time where I was like, you know, ah, this is a good cause, and then it was like nobody gave a shit about it, and except for obviously a few like people who I'm forever grateful for. But at the same time, it gave me that kind of gumption and giddy up just to do it myself as well. Do you know what I mean? Like Thanos in Infinity War, like fine, I'll do it myself, and he puts on the gauntlet. Um, yeah, but that's just an observation. That whole kind of that there are people on it that like really need it, and even more than like say us with our school or anything. Like people, kids
Right.
with bone cancer, you know what I mean? So I just see how like that tribalism, how it can be monetized so easily, and
Yeah.
that's just like proof of it. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. I'm just like observing in real time.
No, yeah, and I completely agree with you. It is like you said, like tribalism. It's like if you do something that somehow connects to like the inner monologue of a certain group of people, they will fund the fuck out of you. So, for instance, the guy that is called Trump a pedophile protector, and now is worth over $500,000 or more. He resonated with a lot of people who would love to in person call Trump a pedophile protector. And so
Yeah,
when you're kind of a one man show, so to speak, it's a little bit harder to resonate with people because you're your own person. And so and especially like in America, I've noticed that a lot of there are people who want, and I think a lot of my subscribers and probably your subscribers, because your style is so unique and I'm just off the wall. They do want things that are more original, but there are a lot of people in America in general who I don't believe want or new concepts. They don't want things that are brand new. They don't want new stories. They don't want things that no one else has ever thought of. They want the same goddamn thing repainted with a pretty design added to it. You know what I mean? Hence why
yeah,
there's a
yeah, yeah,
million fucking remakes nowadays. The remake of Snow White, the remake of The Little Mermaid, the remake of the remake of the remake. And it's absolutely ridiculous. It just shows people don't want originality. They want the same damn thing dressed in a prettier box.
yeah, 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 100%. Yeah, even deciding what to see at the movies now is impossible. I mean, even here in Turkey, maybe $40 for the two of us, which is expensive in Turkey, by the way. In America, that might be totally normal or even cheap, but like $40 for like the cinema, two tickets and some food is nuts. So it's like trying to just decide. It's like, am I going to watch that guy Timothy Chalamet play ping pong for 2.5 hours? You know what I mean? Or am I going
Yeah.
to go do something else? Or I just go out for dinner, and it's like It's not like that we're cheap or anything like that, and or that we don't like art, but it's kind of this is something I noticed. Is like the actors in movies. I feel like they're too good looking.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like I just said it there. Like, am I going to watch this skinny kid who likes to rap? Um, play ping pong for 2.5 hours on the big screen, or like, but if it was like a real character actor. Like, because from my point of view, that son of a bitch is like just pretending to be Bob Dylan in the Bob Dylan movie. Like, he ain't Bob Dylan, you know. Like, he didn't do like Joaquin Phoenix did or something, someone like that. In Walk the Line, but yeah, I just kind of feel like the actors are just so polished. It feels like the actors are AI,
Yeah. Well, and then now,
you
not to
know.
mention, God, I forget which country it was. I want to say like Denmark or Sweden or something. I can't remember, but they created the world's first AI actress. Like, she will be intended to like make cameos and act in movies and stuff. They've made her fully functional so that you can add her to whatever and everything. I forget her name. I'm gonna actually just really quickly look her up. Uh, but yeah, so now like you have someone that's literally going to be perfect forever. She'll never age, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, Tilly Norwood. Yeah, Tilly Norwood,
Tilly
first AI
Norwood.
actress. Here, I'll look up a picture of her on my phone so I can share. Tilly Norwood. So this is her here.
That should be illegal, man.
It
That should
really
be
almost
illegal.
all is, yeah, it almost really should. Yeah, because it's like, how is anybody ever going to compete with that? And it's, you
Well,
can't,
but
like,
the
they're
thing
young
is, it's like,
forever.
yeah, but this is part of it. It's like, would we ever get like another Michael J. Fox again? Or would we ever get another Kelsey Grammer or someone like that? Like, I'm not saying they're ugly, but like, they're definitely kind of distinguished people.
Or like Chris Farley, Adam
Or
Sandler, those
like
type
Chris
of guys.
Farley, exactly, Adam Sandler. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because like Brad Pitt was supposed to be like the outlier. Do you know what I mean?
mhm,
So it's
yeah.
like, oh god, that's Brad Pitt. But then Edward Norton was supposed to be like the everyman. He kind of looked like every other actor. Like, it's same with Angelina Jolie. Like, there's so many beautiful actresses I know, but Angelina Jolie very much in the 90s and early 2000s, an outlier in beauty. And I'm not saying other actresses were not beautiful, but like, they seemed like humans. And but like now with people like Timothy Chalamet, even when he's on talk shows, I'm looking at this kid and I'm like, it's like, dude, we know you're good. You don't need to tell us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we know you're good. You don't need to sit there and tell everyone. Yeah, it's a pity.
Well, like one of
I don't know.
my
Do you feel that way?
yeah, oh yeah, I feel that way for sure. Like one of my favorite actors is David Tennant.
Oh,
Uh
right. Yeah, I know.
and he is like he's a decent looking guy, but he's like a regular decent looking guy, but like he doesn't have a
Right.
perfect set of teeth. His teeth are a little bit like askew and like they're not perfectly like bleach white like they love to do in Hollywood. And so to me, like I love watching him and I love seeing him smile because it feels incredibly relatable. I don't have
Right.
a, Hollywood perfect fucking smile and stuff. And most people don't. Most regular people don't. And so those types of people are enjoyable to watch. But if we continue down this line of AI actors and actresses like Tilly Norwood, then we're going to get to the point where what are people left to do? Turn themselves into fucking machines just so they can feel
Right.
like they're the normal they're seeing in shows.
But Robin Williams. The reason why
That's a good example of another
I
person.
connected with him so much, like, I loved him. He's my favorite actor growing up. But like,
Mhm.
I was literally like, I had a love for him. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
Yeah. I understand that.
it is because he looked, not because of his performances, but he looked exactly like my dad. You know what I mean? And he
Ah.
looked exactly like my dad. So like, and my dad is just an everyman, you know? So like when he was like crying in Mrs. Doubtfire, it was like it actually meant I was like, oh my God, so if my dad cried, that's what it would look like. You know what I mean? Or if he was
Yeah.
being funny or doing this or Mork and Mindy, oh, if my dad was an alien, that's what he would look like. So like I kind of feel that's totally lost when you just put these generic people with these fucking stupid dentures. Just brush your teeth. Just brush your
Yeah.
teeth. You don't need
Yeah.
dentures. Just brush your teeth, you fool.
Right.
You know? That's all you got to do. Like brush and floss. You don't need these fucking gray, these white things there. Um, I can't stand it. I don't recognize people anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I can't remember what his name was, but he got pressured by the studio. It was one of the last guys to play Batman. Um, God, I can't remember which his name was, but he played Batman. But he got pressured by the studios to get dentures, so you can literally go see
Oh,
like when he was doing comedic acting.
Val
Uh,
Kilmer.
no, it wasn't Val Kilmer. Let me look. Uh, Gosh dang it! But anyways, he stupid god dang Ben Affleck. So, if you go
Oh,
look
okay.
at when Ben Affleck was doing comedy and stuff and you see him smile, his teeth have a little bit of space in between them. They kind of look almost a little
Yeah.
bit, like, too small for, his mouth or something, but they looked
Yeah.
real, they looked authentic, and now you see him smile and it's obvious they're fucking dentures, there's no
I don't
space
like that.
between them. They're
Obviously, I
crease-wise.
don't find any other woman attractive except my wife. But when I'm looking at these actresses and they have, and also, but I'm just saying actresses because, I'm a man. Like when I'm looking at them, I'm not seeing anything. I'm like, it reminds me of like my grandmother and her false teeth. I'm like,
Yeah.
if you were to kiss it, they'd fall out. You know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah.
can they eat steak? You know what I mean? And Ben Affleck as well. Yeah, I don't get it, man. Because and I live in
No.
Turkey, so I see a lot of idiots walking around with these big fucking white things, and it's like, if it's so obviously fake, and if it's so obvious that it's not yours, like unless you've been in a car crash, like why are you doing it, bro? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
why are you doing
Yeah.
it?
I completely agree. It takes away from authenticity. It's why I like stuff that starts out, lower budget, shows and things like that. But even then, like you look at like for instance, let's take The Office, the show The Office, the American version of The Office. And you see the actors and actresses and they look really authentic and real and believable at the beginning of the show, but as time goes on, instead of aging, they actually seem to like get younger and prettier
Right.
and their teeth get
Hmm.
whiter because they're making more money. And so all of a sudden they're going out and getting all of this, plastic surgery and dental work. I mean, look at Steve Carell himself. He looks almost the same age right now, besides his gray hair, as he did when he started
Right.
that show.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's
He
like,
had no
nope,
hair
I
when
don't
he
I don't
started.
fucking believe you, dude. Like, I don't fucking believe you. You didn't fucking backwards age. You're not a goddamn time traveler.
I tell you that the one thing I will do though, if I ever make a lot of money, is I will get a facelift. I
Good.
will do that. I will do that. I'll treat myself to a facelift because you know but I won't do the dentures. I won't do I'll go bald, I'm sure, but like I won't get hair transplant, but I will do the facelift thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
the
have
only
nothing
thing
that
I
I
was
wanna
thinking
do
about
that,
doing.
like, aesthetic like that, except for, like so it's not anything aesthetic, but, like, my nose, from being broken a lot is, kinda crooked to the side, so I
Right.
wouldn't mind them just sticking a few sticks up there and freaking
Yeah,
snapping it
just go.
back into place. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I'm
that's
not saying
not for aesthetic,
I'm
that's
not
for
saying I
breathing.
want it. I'm not saying I want it. I'm just saying if there was anything in the world when I was like maybe 55 or 60, I'd be like, yeah, what the hell? Give me a facelift. Wouldn't say no.
See, have you seen the most extreme, like, versions of that, though? Like, for, like, Madonna? Like, have you seen, like,
I've
what
done no
Madonna looks like
research.
nowadays?
Actually, yeah, God, you know what? The less said about the Madonna, the better. I've seen pictures from the last 2 years, I guess. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know, dude. It's like I don't think I'd have anything to like I said, I live in Turkey where it's pretty cheap to have this stuff done. I've been here for 15 years and I've never actually had the I don't know, I've never wanted. Do you know what I mean? I've never had
Yeah.
that urge to to go off and do it. Um, but yeah, it's just the dentures, man. It's like those things are for old people who ate sugar in the 30s. Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing with those?
Yeah, I admittedly, I really know very, very little about Turkey. So it's kind of
Mm.
a, place where, like, people are, like, pretentious like that a little bit. They're really all about their looks and
No,
stuff.
they have good surgeons and good dentists and good plastic surgeons, and they have like tiers where you can go to the best hospitals in the world here, but you're going to pay a lot of money. But then you can go to all hospitals that are, they're okay, and you won't pay a lot of money. Be cheap. And a lot of people like pay for the real cheap stuff here, expecting miracles. But then if you look at but all the celebrities who do come here, they all go to the things that is like top dollar. So there's they've got these tiers here. I know a lot of plastic surgeons here and hair transplants and what you call them, hair transplanters and stuff like that. Good people. But they always say that the people coming over who want it really cheap, like they're going to the dodgiest of dodgiest people. So
Yeah.
yeah, but it's a great place for foreigners if they're willing to actually pay good money.
Yeah, we're like where I grew up, there weren't very many people who had much money at all, but it would be funny because there would be a few people who had, like, a little bit of money, what would be considered in most places like middle class, but where I grew up, we looked at that as just being like super wealthy. And so, but they would go like to Mexico for like,
Hmm.
facial surgeries and stuff like that and get like the cheapest, that they possibly could. So they'd come back and their face would
Right,
look all askew and lumpy and stuff. And then they'd have to go to an American hospital to get it corrected. So they'd go into all this
right.
debt because they
Yeah,
decided
you
they
pay for
wanted,
what you get.
yeah, exactly, and so, it's one of those
But
things
this is
where
the
I just
thing,
never
though.
had any.
It's like if people do come to Turkey, like when my wife and I we do staycations here because the Mediterranean Sea is just like an hour down the road from us. So when we do go on holidays, we like to staycation because it saves money and it's awesome. And so you can go two ways. You can find the best resorts and then nothing like you do nothing, but it's really expensive and it's amazing. Okay. It's amazing, especially with kids, it's amazing. But what we like to do is actually go and find kind of mom and pop uh Airbnb, or I don't know what you call them in Airbnb. Do you have that in America? Airbnb.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we find those things and just find villas that are cheap with pools and you just stay there for a week, you know? And it is one of the best things that you could do when you come over here is just search out the Airbnb scene because the hotels are super expensive.
Yeah, I believe that. Hotels are super fucking expensive in general. We got lucky, during the pandemic, Vegas was having, like, no one travel there at all, and so they started
Mhm.
putting their hotels up for, like, 15 bucks a night, man. Like, and so
Whoa.
we went down and we spent a few nights down there, Christmas of 2020, and that was pretty spectacular. Me and my girlfriend Kimberly, who's in the chat and stuff, we got to experience the strip in Vegas, which is incredibly
Okay.
usually incredibly packed 24/7. It was it was empty. All there was one single car that drove past us, and then like all the cops were at the end of the strip just chatting and BSing because there was nothing for him to do. It was almost like dystopian or something. It was like apocalyptic or whatever. It seemed like it was so fantastic. It seemed like it really was fiction.
Right. Okay. Cool. So, Kimberly's your girlfriend.
Yeah. That's why
I
I
thought
was
she was your
teasing her
manager.
saying, that well, that's yeah, but that's why I was teasing her earlier saying I didn't know who she was.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, but if you ever do go on holiday outside of the States, you want to get away from it, I highly recommend Italy, North Africa and Turkey and Croatia as well. There's like there's a lot of if you go to Europe, you don't have to like do the whole kind of not that you asked me this, it's just my opinion. You don't have to do the whole like London, Paris, Barcelona thing or Berlin. Like southern Italy, Istanbul, Morocco, places like that, man. It's people kind of give the word cheap a bad rap. But for me, like
Yeah.
cheap just means, oh, the cost of living isn't fucking everybody here. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they can actually be
Yeah.
themselves, you know? So yeah, that's what it kind of means for me as well.
I used to be afraid to travel, and this is no joke. I'm not even kidding. I used to be afraid to travel because I was afraid because of like some of the things like I'd said in my past or whatever. Some of like the more political things, like I would end up getting denied entry to a country. Now I'm
Uh-huh.
more worried that I of traveling that because of some of the political things I write and say, they won't let me back in the United States.
Oh, I lived in America when I was a kid, and we have family over there, and I really think that I always like the last time I was in America was 2010, and even though that's what like 15, 16 years ago. Wow, is that how long ago that was? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, the I I always thought like, oh, I could go to New York or Boston from Shannon Airport in Ireland. Not whenever I want, but like whenever I want in reason, if I give my budget some, heads up. But now it kind of feels like I don't think I'll ever go back to America again. You know what I mean? It just feels not because of anything I've said, but like I'm not going to hand over any information to them. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Right.
I just why would I do that? You know, it's just it's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to literally, if you're coming into the country or whatever from a different place, you have to literally share like your social media accounts. You have to like unlock them so they can like look through them on your phone and shit. It's ridiculous. And it's
Right.
like until that
Yeah.
changes again, like I don't want to leave because I really don't put it past this administration to deny me entry because I have been outspoken against Trump since day one, and they definitely don't like that here right now.
I had six. This happened to be this month. I had six students, all from Brazil, and I lost a lot of money because four of them said, "We are canceling the lessons because we don't know what's going to happen with the Brazilian visas for the USA." Because I was helping them pass exams so they could go apply for the visa with it. And I said, "Oh no, that's if you're moving there. It's not for a university or anything like that." And their parents were just kind of saying, like, "Look, we're just going to look at we're going to get back to you, you know." And when we kind of feel better about which country we'll send them to, because the it's slow for Canada right now for students to get into, and
Yeah.
for Brazilians to kind of go all the way over to Dublin to Trinity College or to Austria or Italy. It's even more expensive to go over there. So like now it's like instead of like having that group of students and that income ready to come in, now like a big chunk of them are saying actually we have to think about it. And it's all because of this like miscommunication coming from like Truth Social. I was like, never in a million years would I have thought like this would affect my business in any way. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's absolutely
Yeah.
nuts.
I mean, it's literally they have protests against the current administration in the United States all over the world right now because it's affecting the
Yeah.
entire globe the way he's just behaving like a complete and utter fucking moron. And he's a
Yeah, it's
buffoon,
nuts.
dude. He's a toddler with power and it's disgusting. It really is. It's sad more than anything because I think the United States was just starting to leave behind some of its more heinous history, and starting to embrace more of, a culturally accepting and educationally focused and health focused sort of culture. And then all of a sudden this guy comes in and now we're right back to where we were like 100 fucking years ago, with a leader who
Right.
wants to consider ourselves a superpower in the sense of, uh, uh, taking over as much as we can. And that's it. And so it is embarrassing. Yes, it's embarrassing. Brandy just said it is embarrassing. Kimberly says that all the time, Brandy. It is literally embarrassing. Like, I used to be proud to be like, I'm an American, and I still love my country
Right.
itself, but I'm not proud to
Right.
say I'm an American anymore because I don't love what's becoming of my country.
I was talking to a guy who I used to teach with, he's from America, and he's lived all over the world. And I saw on Instagram that he's an immigrant. He comes from a family of immigrants. Okay,
Mm.
uh, but he doesn't live in America right now. He lives somewhere else. All right, I'll just give you some context.
Right.
And remember, what's her name? Christine Nome, was that her
Yeah.
name? Press
Yep.
secretary.
Yeah.
There was some journalist who says like XYZ has happened to these people as they're in ICE custody. Do you think ICE are doing a good job? And then she asked him his opinion, and then he gave her the opinion, and she just went, "See, your left wing bias, blah blah blah
Yep.
blah blah." Okay,
I know exactly what clip
and
you're
then
talking about.
yeah, so my friend shares that clip, and I never partake in political discourse with friends or family or anything. Okay, uh, and he shared it, and I just saw it, and I'm like, oh my god, he's an idiot. Well, I never knew my friend was an idiot because he was kind of going like, yeah, you know. And I sent him a message, and I said, be calm, Peter, be calm, because sometimes the internet can catch you off guard, and you're like, fuck it, let's go to war with this idiot. But I had to calm
Yeah.
myself down, and I just texted like, why didn't she just answer the question? And then, like, he replied with, because she asked another question. These people are getting killed because they're not complying. If I got stopped, I would just do what I'm told. And I was just like, wow. I was like, wow. Like, what a fucking privileged position to have from your European villa. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? As you come from a family of immigrants, and I see Irish American people as well, kind of they are out there being pro ICE, and then later on that night singing songs about British oppression and the IRA and oh Bigara, where's me Guinness? These plastic fucking patties. And I'm just like, your ancestors would be so ashamed of you to, you know, be cheering this thing on. So yeah, that's what I think. I think anyone who maybe that's how people become white in America is to be pro this racist regime and they get their white card, you know what I mean? And they
Yeah.
can no longer be Irish American or uh, Italian American or Greek American or Lithuanian or you know, African American or whatever else you have in that melting pot, Mexican American. They have to
Yeah.
just say, "Oh, you're with them, then fine." That's like my extreme hot take of how angry I was.
Yeah, that clip, I know exactly what clip you're talking about, and it was completely and utterly ridiculous. Like, the guy was right. Like, it's but the thing is he didn't say what, was, politically acceptable by that administration, and so she's like, "Oh, see, you're just a leftist, you're a leftist, you should be ashamed of yourself," and it was like, dude, he didn't say anything that was fucking wrong, and now you're just chewing him out and fucking calling him names because you
Yeah,
don't agree with what he said. It's not a journalist's job to kiss your fucking ass. Like, that's not their job. Their job is to
yeah.
report. Their job is to think differently than what the current narrative projects or insists on. And so
Oh,
you
that's all
don't
gone.
no, that's exactly all they surround themselves with are fucking bootlickers. And you're right. Any country in the world's people, America, Ireland, anyone whose ancestors fought against a tyrannical regime for freedom that is now endorsing the actions of this administration should be ashamed
Yeah.
in themselves, and their
And
ancestors would fucking
by the way,
cry.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that people who like I'm not saying people like if you just because you voted for Trump or because you're Republican, that's not what I'm saying at all. It's completely different. It's like if you are cheering on citizens getting or not just anyone on the street getting hurt, you know what I mean, by
Yeah.
people in masks.
Yep.
I don't care if you vote for Trump or whatever, but like I do, but you know what I mean. Like, but if you're cheering on that, it's kind of like, God damn, who are you? Like, have you got a soul? Have you got ancestors? Like, what are you?
Yeah, I agree. I got into the same discussion during 2020 when they were tearing apart like Denver, Colorado and stuff like that. And it's like, it gets to a point and that was the opposite. That was the left that was doing that. It was the people that are now, against Trump. And it's like, I understand the need to protest and stand in and everything. There's nothing more American than that, but it's counterproductive to destroy your own cities in the midst of trying to get a message across, especially if you're a group like they were protesting police violence. Well, you didn't fucking do very good at protesting violence by becoming more violent. That doesn't make any
Right.
sense. And that's they would wear masks too. It would get started by masked men. And now we know that those masked people that you were starting those riots were government agents trying to make, the situation worse for some reason. Which is a fucking problem. Whenever the government is found to at all be trying to make any situation worse, especially in their own fucking country, they should be prosecuted for terrorism. And
Yeah.
be, kicked the fuck out of the country. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I can get pretty heated about this stuff. And so it doesn't do any
Well,
good
yeah,
to sit
well,
there
it's
and rant
kind
and
of
rave
like,
about it.
well, the distinction I always kind of like to make is like, even if like someone voted for Trump in 2016 and then in 2024, it was 2024, right? Yeah. 2025? 2025. Yeah, like, even if someone,
2023. Yeah,
what,
2024. No, you're right. 2024. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, 24.
like, I'm so bad with time. Um, like, even if like, it's like, that's your right. Okay. Okay. You're still an American if you vote for Trump. I don't care what anyone says. You're still an American if you vote for Trump. You can still
Right.
be a good person. You can still be an Irish American or a Latino American. You can still be all those things. Like, like our ancestry it's nuanced than what's going on in time. But like, just just the amount of people that I'm seeing, who are so proud of their ancestry, of the oppression that their ancestors went through and everything, and they keep it close to heart, who are cheering someone being shot, or you know what I mean,
Yeah.
really makes me like just have to kind of disconnect from the internet. I like,
Yeah.
to a point where it's like, I don't think if I ever see that person again, I can shake their hand, because what do they believe in? You know what I mean? It's gone to
Right.
that point, you know?
No, I completely agree. I do. And it is sad because there's a lot of people that I considered, proud, strong Americans with good values. And then the longer this administration has ran things here, the more I just see them as just a filthy, degenerate, fascist bootlicker. And it's disappointing. More than anything, it's disappointing. I mean,
They're
it's
trying to keep their run in society. So like
yeah,
in Ireland, when like the British ruled Ireland, I'm not equating the two, I'm just giving like an example. Um, you would have Irish people who would side with the British, and they would do so either because they wanted to keep their run in society, or because they thought that power winning was inevitable. But if we're good little boys and girls now, we might move up a little bit. Okay. So
right.
like, we used to call them like West Brits or Castle Catholics. Um, the it's not the same thing, but it's maybe the same mentality, as in like, it's game over, best behave. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I think
In
so.
some
I think
people,
something there. Yeah,
yeah,
it's their turn. They think that that's the side that's going to win. They think that, Trump has taken over, like one of the most disgusting things I see is people that will get all pissed off and they'll say Trump 2028, which means they want Trump to run again, in another couple
yeah.
years president. That is so anti-American. That is beyond anti-American. We are a country where you get 2 terms in your life, and then that's supposed to be it. And so to try to endorse someone to be able to run for more time, based only off of solving problems they created is just authoritarian loving, and it's appalling. And I think you're right. The only excuse that you can give them is that they think that they'll keep their place in society, or they might move up a place in society because they were willing to lick boots. Either way, either of those things are incredibly disgusting and appalling. They're not admirable traits for an individual to have.
Yeah, I remember like like people like Michael Collins, the Irish revolutionary leader, and Eamon de Valera, the first the leader of Ireland. Like when they were like rallying people in the squares in Ireland in the early 20th century, like telling them like, why we need home rule or we need our own government or things like that. They were there and, everyone wore suits back then, like, the farmer suit, like the green kind of thing,
Yeah.
everyone kind of wore that kind of stuff and they'd be in among the people talking to them just on a little box and everyone looked the same. Okay. Um, Now the funny thing is that you have these billionaires coming in, kind of saying like in these immaculate suits to these workers in these factories, kind of saying like, and looking down on them and saying like, "I'm with you, pal. I'm with you. I'm going to make everything better for you." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we had that kind of like glorious tear rupture in the in the dimension when someone says, "F you," uh, P word protector or whatever. I don't want to say the words. I don't know what the rules are for saying that. And, he just kind of goes like, straight away, the mask comes off. He's like, fuck you, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and
You
that's
know?
exactly you see his true self whenever someone doesn't agree with him. You see who they really
Yeah.
are whenever someone doesn't agree with any of them. You see, I mean, anytime they're presented with any sort of conflict whatsoever, you see exactly the fascist, angry control freaks that they really are. And so that's
Yeah.
that's the part that people should be paying attention to. But unfortunately, they believe it's, and that's an age old tactic that has been used for possibly thousands of years, where a royalty or a leader or whatever will be like, "Oh, I'm on your side. I'm on your side." When in reality, they'll throw you under the bus the second they can, just for a little bit more power and wealth. You know.
Yeah. But KR, that guy in the factory shouting those terrible words, he was obviously a domestic terrorist. You know, he was like you laugh now, but I guarantee you, I think it's game over in America. I guarantee you, in 2 years, they will change laws there where you can get labeled as a domestic terrorist for things that you say or do. You know what I mean?
I believe it.
Like,
It's possible. It
they've
is.
done it in other countries. Um, they will start doing that soon, and I think this is my prediction. I think they will start arresting other politicians.
Yeah, I mean, they've
Uh,
already arrested a
yeah,
few other politicians, just for being in the wrong place at the wrong time, but really it's because they were
right.
opposition. Yeah, that's why Trump likes Putin so
Yeah,
much. It's not like, it's because in Russia, you're not really allowed to write or speak out against Putin. When Putin first took
right,
office, there was this little puppet show that was just a satire type puppet show, and it made fun of Putin. And so, like, when he took office, he used a company that was owned by the government to buy that company and shut that show down, because it
right.
had spoken out against him and made fun of him. Well, that's
Oh
what
yeah,
Trump
yeah,
wants.
yeah. I heard about that. Yeah, yeah,
Trump
yeah,
Trump
yeah, yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
want people to make fun of him. Trump really is the type of guy who cannot handle being made fun of. I wrote an article about this a while back, where I think part of what flamed Trump to, destroy every bit of Obama's legacy was that, a commemoration speech or whatever, Obama made fun of Trump in front of everybody and made the whole audience just bust out laughing, with
Yeah, yeah,
how he was mocking Trump. And I really do believe, like, if you look at that video and you see Trump's face during it, he's sitting there like doing this the whole time. Like, and you can see that,
yeah.
like, behind his eyes, he's thinking, I would fucking kill you if I could right now. Like, you can just
It
tell.
reminds me of Dumb and Dumber 2 when Harry or Lloyd pretends to be mentally handicapped for like 20 years where they just can't move or say or do it. And the other guy has to like, clean these, but he does this like long game. It's like, I was only joking. It kind of feels like that with Trump where he's kind of like, I'm going to do all these terrible things. And then in 10 years later, going to go to Obama. Wasn't that funny? I got you back. The whole
Yeah.
country's like on fire behind him.
Yeah. Well, and that's exactly what it feels like. I mean, I hope that something happens. I mean, we've got this year is another set of elections, and I hope that the right people can get win, and so they can hopefully push back a little bit harder against this rhetoric, and that's going to be our only salvation. Otherwise, if
Who's it
the
going
other
to be?
side,
Gavin Newsom or AOC?
for what?
If her like who's the like on the Democrats? It's like it's so weird. It's like we don't know anyone on the Democratic side anymore except for Newsom and AOC. Like I know like the midterms is like a different election thing, but I mean like going forward, like what horse are you backing? You know?
Well, and that's a hard one, honestly, especially like where I live. If you're on a state level, which is what these elections will mostly be, is state levels. I don't have Democratic options. We don't have Democrat options
Right.
here. We don't have anyone besides basically fucking Trump lovers here to vote for. That's our options, and so it's difficult for me. So I tend to pay attention to individuals that are more local, and I know a person individually, Joe Evans, who is running for state senate. There's two Senate seats in Idaho, and he is a Republican, but he is absolutely against all that fascist shit. I know him, like I said, personally, and he's a good human being. But the thing is like he's not going to win. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but he doesn't have the political backing from the entrenched party here in Idaho. He doesn't have the finance to be able to fight them. And so it's not going to happen, and unfortunately we need more people like him that although he is a Republican, he was a libertarian before he switched to Republican just to be able to run in the election with some level of fairness. He's not going to win. It's not going to happen, sadly.
Yeah.
So
I
but
think I
there
think
are
we
there are
covered
some good
everything, Smash.
Democrat names on a national level. There are some good Democrat names. You've got Pete Buttigieg, you've got AOC, you've got I love the way that Gavin Newsom is hitting Trump back with his same style. I don't necessarily like Gavin Newsom himself, but I do appreciate the way he's sitting, hitting him back. But you kind of
Mhm.
touched this a little bit when you mentioned that part of like people's bootlicking is because they want to keep their current position in society or they hope they'll rise. Well, that's happening on the right and with Trump, but on the left, they're still fucking safeguarding positions and doing purity tests. If you're someone who made mistakes when you were younger, you're someone who didn't have perfect credit your whole life, or you're someone who, maybe used to think, a little bit more conservatively with your opinions and stuff. People on the left are like, boo, get them out of there. So it's like it's incredibly hard for someone to rise through
Just
the
get Jon
ranks
Stewart.
on the left side.
Just get Jon Stewart.
Yeah, Jon Stewart's good. I like Jon Stewart, but that's the thing is
You know?
he is a little bit more of like a conservative liberal. He has conservative ideals and stuff, but he has, a lot of his belief is just let people fucking live their life, man. And that's really like the
Yeah.
basis of what I thought America was just let people live your
Yeah.
fucking life, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's yeah, it's weird because I just they're going to be running against like an 83-year-old Trump when this
Yeah,
comes around, I guess.
yeah.
And it's like he already looks pretty beat down now.
Downtrodden. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like he looks tired, and like
Yep,
I'd be tired. Like
yep.
um but and I honestly I Brandon said something the other night. I was listening to him where Brandon thinks and he said it publicly, so it's okay if I repeat it. Um the that like Trump is terrible obviously, but he might not be as like racist as he lets on. Do you know what I mean? As in like I feel like there's very much like geriatric grandpa energy where like everyone in his cabinet are like the grandchildren, and they'll come up to grandpa Trump and kind of say, can you believe this? Can you believe this? And get him riled up before a press conference. And then he'll just go out and say all these things and not tell him the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because you see
yeah,
him like playing tennis in his head. It's like, I felt so bad that she got shot, but there was another woman there and she was terrible. And I felt terrible that her father was a big Trumper. But they were agitators. So he's like playing these two sides. And I think, I know for a fact he's probably thinking like, yeah, that is bad. But he's like, I've been told this is what, these are the two sides. There's no nuance to it at all. And
Yeah.
which is what a president should do, you know?
Right.
Like, I think
Yeah.
if Obama came out, would say, this is very nuanced. It looks, we're going to wait for the investigation to be done. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family. Justice will be served. Okay?
Yeah.
Finished. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be. And it's up to us then to kind of say, like, as people, like, I was terrible what happened and it was wrong. But, like, for him just to come out and have an opinion is so unpresidential. It's crazy, you know?
Yeah, and well, and when Obama would be upset with like Republicans and stuff for, gutting his bill and, preventing him from, doing progress in whatever he wanted to do, he would still come out and he would be like, yes, it is frustrating, but remember
Mhm.
that, Republican is the party of Abraham Lincoln. We need two sides. Two sides keep the wheel forever going. We've got to have these
Mhm.
different opinions and ideals in this country because that's what makes America great. And it was
Yeah.
wonderful listening to him speak, because he actually believed in America, the way that, I feel it should be. And that's, yes, there's two sides to a story. One side isn't necessarily more right than the other, but there are certain things
Right.
that we should all agree on. Like feeding the poor shouldn't be a political thing. It should just be a human thing, you
Yeah.
know?
But like also he would calm you down. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
Like he
exactly.
would
He would
calm
be
you down.
exactly.
Like I literally, there could be a comet coming. You know what I mean? And he would
Yeah.
come out and say, "I know you want to go out and riot, but the best thing for you to do right now is to go down to a basement and hold your loved ones." You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
Like, where do
exactly.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And like, and like, that's not what you want to hear. You want to hear like, "I'm going to nuke the comet and I'm the greatest ever. Don't worry about it." But actually, no, it's
Right.
like you need to be calmed down and kind of told, the reality of it. And sometimes
Yeah.
the reality of it is like, it's frustrating, but it calms you down a little bit. And that's
Yeah.
completely
And that,
lost in America.
yeah, it is, especially right now. Nothing is reality. It's all fiction and propaganda. So, well, we went a half an hour longer than I've ever gone with another show. So
Well, okay, that's
that
because the first half hour was complete bullshit.
yeah. Well, you tend to fuck with people when they come on your show, so a little bit of your own medicine right back at you.
Sure, sure, sure.
Nobody's gonna end
I
up watching that one like on YouTube where I'll post it or whatever. They're gonna get like 20 minutes in and they're gonna be like, "This is complete fucking bullshit. What the hell am I watching?"
I can't wait to see the clips.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not really good about posting clips and stuff, but feel free to post as many as you want. I don't have any problem with that at all.
Okay, cool. Oh, this is going all over my MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace was
Or
better than
whatever it's called.
Facebook. I hated when Facebook takes over, and I still fucking hate Facebook. So
I miss Bebo.
I don't know what that is.
I think it was like a European MySpace,
Ah,
basically.
I
Yeah.
gotcha. Well, thank you for coming
All
on,
right.
man, and thank you for having conversations and stuff and discussing all this. And I really appreciate visiting with you.
Okay, just don't show this video to the border guards at Logan Airport in Boston, and we'll be fine.
Yeah. Thank you to
It's
anybody who
all
might
good.
still be watching or anything like that. If anybody's still out there, thank you for joining us. Remember to go hit that subscribe button for Murphy here immediately.
Don't
I need
subscribe
to
to
start.
me. I'll annoy you.
I need to actually start doing that like at the beginning of the show and then in the middle
Mhm.
instead of at the end, telling
Right.
people to
No, there's like
subscribe to the best.
105 people here, apparently.
Yeah, at least 105 people joined at one point. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So all
It's
right,
not just
brother.
just
You
people.
have a
See you
good
later,
evening
man.
because I think it's late there. And talk to you later.
See you
Bye.
later. Bye bye.